Hi everyone, welcome to day 4 of the RCM product training. On today's agenda we'll discuss the job requisition, how to create a job requisition, the permissions needed, the different methods of creating a job requisition, the route maps, the system status versus job requisition status, the country field, and job posting. Just now going to give you a quick overview of the job requisition. So creating a job requisition, you go to recruiting and you click on new, as you can see here in the screenshot. The prerequisites for creating a job requisition is the user must have permissions to user login, and in order to have access to create new buttons, the user must have permissions to create forms. Selecting a template. So once you click on create new, the user will be given the option to select a job requisition template. These templates are the ones that are defined within provisioning and are active in the system. As you can see here, only active requisition XML templates will be available to select. There are 3 main methods for creating a requisition. The 3 different methods are 1. Copy existing job requisition, 2. Browse family and roles, and 3. Create a new job requisition from blank template. So the first option is copying existing job requisition. Here you'll see when you click on the option, you'll give filters to criteria that define the existing job requisition that you want to copy. So here you'll see there's a rec ID, job titles, you'll have the location, the recruiters, which operator it's assigned to. Once you've found your requisition you'd like to copy, press copy to select. Copying an existing job requisition, the known behaviors for it. When a requisition is copied, data from all the field copies. There's no way to configure or select which fields are copied. The copied data includes the requisition operator field data. The operator user on the source requisition can access the copied requisition. If the originator changes the operators before sending the requisition to the next step, then the operator users on the source requisition do not have access to the copied requisition. The applicant list on the requisition will not copy, and the audit trail on the requisition will not copy. The next option to create a job requisition is through Browse Family and Roles. The recruiting user creating new requisitions may choose to create via family and roles. This allows the user to browse through the family and role library configured by the administrator in the admin tools. Select a role and have the data from the role auto-populate to the requisition. When the role is selected, the system will populate the data from the role name, the job description, and the competency areas of the families and roles library onto the title. External title listing layouts, and competencies fields IDs on the requisition. Customers can also configure job codes and job role tags and browse family and roles. Third method for creating a requisition is through the blank template. Using this method, it allows the user to create a new requisition from scratch. All the fields from the select requisition template will be empty, and the user can provide their own custom values for all the job requisition fields. The requisition will be unique and does not pull values from other requisitions or role. It's a blank template. Once the user decides which way they want to create the requisition, you'll be brought to the short requisition short form page. Here, you'll be defining the internal job title of the requisition, the approvers of the job requisition, and the approved date. So once the requisition is successfully created, it'll meet the pre-approved status. The job requisition ID has been generated, and we can assign the route map for the approval at the top of the job requisition form. So after creating the requisition, we're always asked, is there an option to hide the different creation methods? Yes, there is. So this feature allows you to limit the job requisition methods. You're now able to hide any of the following options via role-based permissions. So simply to hide a certain creation method, when you go into the role-based permissions, you can use the hide copy existing job requisition, hide browse family and roles, or create new job requisition with blank template. I'll now demonstrate how to create a job requisition in the system. I'm now going to demonstrate how to create a job requisition. From the main screen, select Home and go to Recruiting. You'll be then brought into the list of job requisitions that are currently in your name or need to be approved by you. To create the requisition, simply select Create New. Once you select Create New, you'll be given the option to select a job requisition template. As stated earlier, the only job requisition templates you'll see are the ones that are currently active in the system. Select the template that you require. Once you select the template that you'd like to use, you'll be given the 3 options to create a requisition. The first option we have is Copy Existing Job Requisition. So once you select this option, you'll be given the option to fill in the required details. So you can base it on a title that you have, an operator that already has a requisition in their name, or you can search using the rec ID. The other option to create a job requisition is to use Browse Family and Roles. Once you select this option, it will give you the families that are defined within the system. To select the role that you want, simply press the plus sign, find the role that you'd like. Once you select the role, you'll be given a job code. To create a job requisition, simply select the job code and use Selected. Third option to create a job requisition is to use the Create New Job Requisition from Blank Template. Once selected, you'll be redirected to the short job requisition page. Please note that when you use all three methods, you'll always be brought to this screen. So to create the requisition, the first thing you have to do is put in the internal job title. For this, we'll use RCM test. Next is your approve date, the date that you want the requisition to be approved by, and then you'll define the operators. So in this instance, we're going to use Tessa Walker. So once the operator comes up, select the operator and simply select Next. Once you select Next, you'll be brought to the job requisition template, or the job requisition, sorry. Here, this job requisition is currently in pre-approved status and is currently with the approvers Anya Singh and Tessa Walker. As we've now completed the demonstration of how to create a job requisition, we're now going to move to the next topic, which is route maps. So what is a route map? A route map specifies the order in which a form moves from one user to another and what users can do during each step. Recruiting uses route maps to determine the approval path of a new requisition. The user who creates the requisition completes the initial data and then sends the requisition to the user who owns the next step. The user reviews the requisition, may add or adjust requisition data based on permissions, and then sends the requisition to the user who owns the next step. Please note that the route maps are a platform feature, so not all route map functionality applies to recruiting. The configuration of route maps, go to Admin Center and then select Manage Route Maps. Once you've gone into the Manage Route Maps, you'll see this screen here. Here you'll have the option to create a new route map or select an existing route map from the list provided. Once you selected Add New Route Map or selected one of the pre-existing route maps, you'll be brought to the following screen. So here you have the option to modify the stage of the route maps that are configured, and the users can configure the step name, description, and step type. Multiple steps can be configured and be customized to the customer's requirements. So configuring the route map steps. So the first step you need to do is the step name that is displayed in the route map within the form. Next, you do the step description, the description that gives more context in the action that you're about to take. Within recruiting, the route maps do not use the start date, end date, due date, start review, or out of turn access or one-to-one meeting. Configuring the route map steps, step types. So the first step is a single role. Assign the form to a single role or user. When you want the form to be sent to a single approver, example, you want the requisition to only be sent to the hiring manager, which is the G role. The iterative step is looping between two or more people. This allows several users to work on a step. In this type of step, the form is sent to one user at a time, and the user sends the form to other users specified in the step. If you use this type of step, you must also specify the roles to participate in the step. For example, the hiring manager, which is the G role, and the hiring manager's manager, which is the GM role. These two roles will be able to make edits and send the form back and forth to each other before routing to the next step. If you use the iterative step, we recommend that you also specify the entry user and the exit user. The next step type is the collaborative step. So this allows users to edit and view the job requisition at the same time. In this type of step, the form is sent to all users at the same time. The form appears in all users' inboxes, but only one user can work on it at a time. If you use this type of step, you must also specify the roles to participate in the step. For example, the G and the GM. As earlier stated, this is the hiring manager and the hiring manager's manager. This specifies a collaborative step between the hiring manager and the hiring manager's manager. If you use this collaborative step, we recommend that you also specify an entry user and an exit user. The next step is to define the role for the operator. So these are the roles. So when you specify the role which the requisition will be processed in the route map, there are standard system roles in the drop-down menu, but there's a custom option if you need or more advanced. All recruiting roles are O, G, R, S, T, W, and Q, which are supported in the route maps, along with the relational roles. We'll speak about this later. The recommendation is to use custom and specifying the designator of the operator. The next step is the entry user and exit user. These are defined for the iterative step and the collaborator step. So the entry user, this field is used only for iterative and collaborative steps types and is optional for these step types. In the entry user field, you can specify which of the roles specified in the step type field receives the form first. Exit user, this field is used only for the iterative and collaborative step again and is optional for those steps. In the exit user field, you can specify which of the roles specified in the step type field will route the form to the next step. Next, we're going to discuss the currently with user manages the requisition. This refers to as the currently with user. The currently with user can send the requisition back one step in the route map. This applies for all route map step types and users. If a currently with user sends back a requisition, the action will be captured in the audit trail, including any comments. By default, a pre-approved requisition record is only available to users to whom it has been sent in the route map. It can be made available to any user associated with the requisition recorded via Admin Center, Recruiting Management, and Recruitment Settings. When users are satisfied with the field content, they select the options to route the requisition to the next step. If dissatisfied, you can reject or decline the requisition. It means that you're sending the requisition to the previous step. Next, we're going to discuss associating a route map to the job requisition template. The job requisition template can use different route maps. You can associate a route map to a job requisition via the Admin Center form template settings. In the form template settings, select the job requisition template you want to edit and associate the route map by choosing a route map name from the drop-down menu. Here it's to note that you can only use one route map per job requisition template. I will now do a demonstration on how to create a route map. From the home screen, we'll go to the Admin Center. So once you get to the Admin Center, you can either use tool search to find the route maps, or you can use recruiting and then manage route maps. Once you're here, you'll have the option to create a new route map or use one of the predefined route maps that are already there, that have been configured already in the system. From this screen, you can also view the job requisition templates that are associated to the route map. So go over here and select related templates. When you select the related templates, it'll give you a list of the job requisition templates that are associated with that route map. I'm now going to open up one of the existing route maps that we've configured. So once you open the route map, you'll be brought into this screen. Here you have the option to save and then review the steps. So to review the step, simply select the step and then the screen will populate. Here you'll be to find what type of step it is and which role is associated to the step. From here you can see that this is the originator for the first step. Moving to the next step, we can see that it's the same as the previous step, except that the role is different. Here, if you use the select down, you can see that there's different types of roles. Within recruiting, we recommend to use custom and to define the role yourself using the operator role. As stated in the slides, it's not recommended to use the start date, exit date, or due date. The next step of the route map is the recruiting team action. Here, again, it's a single step that we're using, and the role is OR, which is designed for the recruiter. Once the recruiter completes the requisition, this step of the route map, it will then be completed, which is your exit step. You can also see here that there's a signature step. This is not supported within recruiting. Now, if you want to add a new step to the route map, you simply select this option here, which is the green plus sign, and then put in the step name that you want. So for our purposes, we're going to use test. Once you select OK, you can see that the test appears at the end. If you want to move this step, you simply use the drag and drop option, and you can move it second, third, fourth, whichever you prefer. Once you've opened this up, so select it to open it, you'll see that you have the number of steps. So we can put in a description. This is a test. And then select what step type we want. So for this step, we're going to use iterative. Here you can see once you select the option, you'll be given the roles. Again, as recommended, we advise using the custom role and defining the operator role. So As you can see here, this is the entry user, which means this person will get the requisition first. You will now define which role is going to have it. So in our testing purposes, we're going to use OR, which stands for recruiting. The next step, again, we're going to use custom, and we're going to use G, which signifies the hiring manager. We can then define which is the entry user. So in our testing purposes, we're going to use the recruiter as the entry user, and then the exit user will be the hiring manager, which means that the hiring manager must send the requisition step to the next step. I'll now demonstrate how to create a route map. Simply use this option, route map list, and you'll be brought back to the screen that we were a moment ago, where we have the option to select a route map or create a new one. So simply use add new route map, select build your own or choose some library. For this purpose, we're going to use build our own. And then we're brought into the screen similar to what we had before. Again, to add a step, simply press the plus sign, add your step name. So we'll use test again, press OK. If you want to add more than one, simply press the plus sign once again and give it a name. So hiring manager we'll give for this one. Press OK, and then we'll use the next one, which is recruiter. Again, as previously discussed, once you go into the step, you need to select a role that you want to use. So we're going to use the originator. It is recommended to use the originator always as the first step. Then we'll move on to the second step, which is the hiring manager. We'll use irrespective for this step, and we're going to use both custom again, and we'll use G for the hiring manager, and use custom again for GM, which is the hiring manager's manager. We'll make the hiring manager as the entry role and the hiring manager as the exit role. Then for recruiter, we're going to change this to custom and user OR. What we'll also do is set it up as a collaboration step and set custom to OR. And then we'll use another one, which is the RM, which is the recruiting manager's manager. And we'll select both users as exit users, which means that they can both approve the job requisition. To complete this, then simply select Save As and give it a copy, give it a name. So we're going to use Test Route Map. And then if you want, you can give a description also. Then select Save. As you can see, the route map is now saved. I'll now demonstrate how to assign the route map to a job requisition template. So we need to go back to the Admin Center. Once we're in the Admin Center, we'll use the form template settings. And you can use the tool search to find this. Select the form template settings, and then we're going to find the job requisition template that we want to assign the route map to. So for this purpose, we're going to use the standard job requisition template. So select the template, and then you'll be brought to this screen. To assign the route map to the template, simply come over to this section here and select the template that you want to use. So we'll use the one that we just created, which is test route map. Once this is completed, then just scroll down and use update form template. This will assign the route map to the job requisition template. We'll now move back to the slides and continue the training. Next, we're going to discuss the job requisition statuses. So within recruiting, we have two different types of job requisition statuses. You have the system statuses and then the requisition status. First, we'll discuss the system status. These three different statuses are pre-approved, approved, and closed. The job requisition system status may not be skipped, and there's no way to have the new system statuses created. The reason why we use the system statuses is for permissions in the job requisition XML template. So the system status pre-approved. This is the first status we have for a job requisition after it's created. It's in this status that the job requisition will be until the moment they are fully approved. The last job requisition approver, instead of having an option to send the job requisition to the next approver, will have an option to finally set the job requisition to open. The pre-approved requisition may be closed at any time. These may also be reopened if needed. When the requisition reopens the pre-approved status, it will be the same route map step as it was prior to being closed. Next is the approved status. Once a requisition is in the approved status, there's no way to again send it back to the pre-approved for the route map approvals. The only supported requisition stage change is to close the requisition. Pre-approved requisitions may be closed at any time. They may also be reopened if needed. The approval status requisition are the only ones that may be posted for the candidates. The last system status is closed. Closed requisitions can be reopened. When reopened, they assume the status they had before the status closure. Closed requisitions may not be posted. Next, we'll discuss the job requisition status field. This is a pick list in the system. The standard field status is used to determine the status of each individual requisition. Example, open, closed, on hold. The standard field using a pick list to determine the values available to be selected. When using a pick list, we have these options to use to indicate the closed status or on hold status. A status with a value of 99999 indicates the status of closed. A status with a value of 88888 indicates a requisition on hold used to pause aging of requisition calculations. If the status isn't 9999 status, an attempt to close the requisition fails and a recruiting user gets an error message on the requisition detail page. We'll now move on to the next part of the training, the button permissions. So in order to reopen or close a job requisition, you have to define which operator will have the option to reopen the job requisition or close it. In order for an operator to close a requisition, they must select the job requisition status pick list value configured at 9999 and use the requisition button. Same process must be followed to reopen the job requisition by selecting an open value for the pick list instead. Operators must be granted the button permission in the job requisition XML template, similar to the screenshot provided here. Standard field country. The standard country field is used on the job requisition to control the application field overrides. Always configure it in all requisitions, always set as required and grant write permissions to an operator. The values are managed in the admin center setup job board options. The values in this field interact with the overrides in the application XML to control these fields that are conditionally exposed to applicants. To get to the setup job board options, simply go to the admin center and use setup job board options. You'll find the values there. The country standard field is also type derived. Job postings. Requisitions can be posted through the recruiting management tool to several locations. The locations where the requisition can be posted through the recruiting management tools are the internal career site, external career site, private postings, job boards, and agency. To post a job, a user must enter a valid start date and click post job, and an end date is not required. Of course, the user can set an end date to define how long they want a requisition to be posted for. The postings begin at 12 AM on the posting start date and end at 12 AM at the beginning of the select expiration date. Posting times are handled in the time zone of the server in which the client instance is set up. This isn't configurable. Only requisitions in the approved status can be posted. When a job requisition is currently posted, there is a hyperlink icon. When clicked, the icon displays the direct link to the posting that the recruiting user can copy and distribute in email or by other means. Private postings. The private posting functionality allows the recruiting user to distribute a job to selected candidates in a situation where the postings don't display in the job search results. This functionality allows the requisition to have a candidate accessible job posting page but be omitted from the search results in the career site. Two standard fields, intranet private posting and external private posting, must be defined on the job requisition XML template and be permission to operators in the approved status. I will now give a quick demonstration of how to post a job requisition in the system. To post a job requisition in the system, we go to recruiting and then go to job requisition. Here you have a list of the job requisitions. As stated in the training, only approved job requisitions will be able to be posted to the career site. So you can use the option filter and then use the open job requisitions. You can also use the display option that can tell you if the job requisition is already posted in the system. So for example, this requisition here, SAP test, we can see that the requisition is currently posted internal and external. We'll now select one of the requisitions that's not posted. So for example, help text. If you open the job requisition. Once the job requisition is open, select the tab Job Postings. Here you will see the different options to post a job requisition to. For the purpose of this, we're going to post the job externally. So all you do is you select your calendar, pick the date that you want to post the job to, and then if you like, you can also use the posting end date. So in this example, we're going to post it for 2 weeks, and then simply select Post Job. Once this is posted, you'll see that the link option appears here where we can copy the direct link to the career site. Again, as stated, the posting start time is based on the server time and not the user's time, hence why we see it set at 5:52 AM CST. We'll also post the job externally, not using private posting. So again, we'll select the date, and for this example, we will not set the posting end date, and we can post job. Again, as seen before, the link option appears. As you can see here, we also have the different options. So we can post to job boards, also use recruiting posting to post to job boards, and then the agency. Simply, we'll also add an agency. So if you want to post a job requisition to an agency, select Add Agency, and then you'll get a list of all the agencies that are in the system. So we'll use this agency here, and we're going to set the start date again for today. Just post job. As you can see, the job posting is there now, and it's also in the agency. We'll now move back to the job requisition page, and we'll see that the posting is there. So again, looking at the help text, we can see that that requisition is posted externally and in the agency portal. To see if the job requisition has been posted successfully, we can simply go to the external career site and copy the job rec ID. Going to the career site, we can put in the requisition ID into the search field, and you can see that there's one jobs posted. Select Search Jobs. We'll then be brought to the job requisition where we can see that it's been posted successfully. We will now move back into the slides. We will now move on to the job requisition operators. So the recruiting operators define the relationship of a user to a job requisition or a job application. Many permissions and routing capabilities are controlled by operators using the XML configuration templates and route maps. A predetermined list of operator fields is supported, and each operator field has a related designator. Please note that this list cannot be changed and you can't add additional operators to the system. Within the system, we also have the option to run ad hoc reports on the job requisition operators to see who is assigned to that job requisition. Users can quickly create a report on the users and their operator role on a job requisition by using the column Job Requisition Operators and filtering by Job Rec ID. I will quickly show you how to build this report. To build a report, simply go to the Reporting section, select New. Select the table. Then the domain we're going to use is Recruiting V2. Once selected, it will bring you into the reporting screen. Once the reporting screen opens, you have the option to save your report. So you can simply put in a report name. So we can call it Operator Report. Type in a description, priorities, and then hit save. Once saved, you should see this message appear. Next, go to columns. In here, you can use the Select Columns option. Scroll down in the first column to Job Requisition Operator. Select the first name, last name, operator type. We'll also use the Job Rec ID. Once you've selected the field ID, the columns that you like, select Done. Then we'll use the filter options. So again, refine criteria, scroll down to Job Requisition Operators, select the Job Rec ID, and then select By My Selection. Here you have the option to search for your Rec ID. In this example, we're going to use 821. So you can either select it by using the checkbox, or in here, you can search by the job rec ID if you know it. Select the rec ID, press done once again, and then we can hit preview. Here you can see for job requisition ID 821, the operators are defined. If you'd like to see more information on the job requisition details, simply hit close and then go to columns again. Select the columns and then scroll down to job requisition. Here you have a list of different fields that you can use to add to the report. So simply all you have to do is select the ones you want. So we can use the department, division, and select the job requisition title and the status. Once you've added in the additional fields, press done again, and then we can hit preview. And we can see that these values are now added into the system, or into the report, sorry. That now completes day 4 of the training. Thank you very much. Bye.